All is calm, all is bright. When all is safe, all is right. Enjoy peace of mind this holiday season with the Erie weather-ready all-wheel drive Honda CR-V. Visit us at Bianchi Honda, because together is a wonderful place to be.
Welcome back. It is a Tuesday edition of the Sports Blitz. It's time now for the Gannon Golden Knights Coaches Show. We got a lot of those. It's basketball edition, men's basketball. He's Kelvin Jefferson. Coach, welcome back.
Thank you, sir.
How you doing?
Terrific. Ready to rock and roll.
I feel like I just saw you earlier today in the very same room that I watched your introductory press conference as the new head coach for football was named. And it seems like quite some time ago we were meeting you and the family.
Absolutely. Exciting day for Gannon football. I'm excited for the future. It was nice to be sitting in the stands in the crowd and not at the podium today.
No speech.
No speech.
As a matter of fact, since we mentioned the family, I saw this report on some kid, Kelvin Jefferson.
Yeah.
What's the scouting report? What are we looking forward to?
No, I'll tell you what. I'll put my coach's hat on right now, not the father's hat.
Nice.
Long, athletic, slashing, small forward. Can guard multiple positions. Has a chance to be very, very good. Plays above the rim, real exciting.
How tall is he?
6'6".
Okay. Yeah, that's tall. That'll do it.
That'll do it.
So, all right, welcome to town.
Thank you.
Mr. Kelvin Jefferson. Not you, Jaden.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to town. Let's talk about the game on Saturday.
Yes.
At Bowie State, 66-53 was the final. I don't really think that the score tells the whole story of this game. For one thing, something we didn't see in the exhibition was Chris Clancy knocking down shots.
Yeah.
From the start.
Yeah, he's that type of guy. I think maybe the light struck him a little bit at Indiana, but he's one of those guys. When we got back from Indiana, he was in the gym, and he's been in the gym every day since. Not that he wasn't before, but he had the fire lit under him a little bit, and I'll take 40% from him every day of the week.
Right.
If he can do that, we'll be very happy with him.
Shooting, you probably can't really coach that. You can coach hustle, you can coach proper positioning, but to be able to actually just stand there and knock them down.
Yeah, no, I wasn't a shooter, so I'm not in charge of that. But luckily,
Who's the shooter?
That's a good question. No, I think Jordan and Griff might argue about that.
All right.
But luckily, Clancy came in as a shooter already, so I didn't have too much coaching to do. But he's got a talent. He's gonna do a lot of good things in 4 years for us.
Does that make it tougher? I mean, because you got almost more pressure from the start because everybody's expecting you to make shots.
Well, it's going to be tougher on him, and we had this conversation that now as the word gets out and people know he's a shooter, he's going to have to find other ways to manufacture shots. Now, as a coach, I'm going to have to find ways to get him open, but he's not going to be able to just stand there and be open anymore because people are going to play to that strength. So, I encourage him, and I encourage all my guys, don't be a one-trick pony. He can't just be a shooter. He's got to be able to put the ball down. He's got to be able to make plays off the dribble. He's got to be able to move without the basketball. And he's a smart enough player in order to do that and able to adjust.
Another player that was impressive against Bowie State, not a one-trick pony by any means. We're learning more and more about him every game, is Deontay Cicero.
No, I tell you what, I'm so pleased with him. I didn't know what I was getting with the kid. His stats from last year don't really do him justice. The kid can score. He really can score. He's not a three-point threat, really. I mean, he can step out and make a three. Yeah, he can do that. But mid-range in the post, we call him the old man. He's just got that old man game. The knees aren't great. The shoulders ache a little bit, but he just knows how to play. He knows how to use his body and use angles and put the ball in the basket.
You had to go with a taller lineup, maybe out of necessity. You got some guys banged up. Two didn't make the trip. I've gotten calls, so let me ask you, Cyril Agboyagu, Frank Webb, will they be back in short order?
Frank will definitely be back. We're looking forward to having him back in the lineup. We missed those points. Saturday,
Great.
he'll definitely help us. Cyril is right now day-to-day. He's got a concussion, so that's still up in the air. He's got to pass all the concussion protocols and things like that, so that's out of my hands. Hopefully we'll have him back soon.
Concussions in basketball, we hear all about it because we talk about football here. So, when people bash each other over the heads with helmets and stuff like that. But is that a conversation in basketball today more so?
It's the second one for us this year already.
Wow.
Ryan Rachik had just returned. He didn't play at all last Saturday, but he had just returned back from his concussion. And then as soon as he kind of came back, Cyril he went into it, and so it's becoming more prevalent. Absolutely.
I liked seeing the tall rotation. It's nice to know you can go to that. It's probably not. I don't know. Maybe it will become your primary motive to get into that, but. Maybe it was out of necessity on Saturday, but just your thoughts on going tall.
Yeah, no, we want to use our size. We intentionally recruited taller guys and some guys with skill, and we're very deep in the front court. So, I mean, we have a lot of options. And remember, Cyril didn't play, who's a front court guy, and Amani is in a boot right now also. He made the trip, but he didn't play. So we were missing two guys that are at least 6'8". But with that said, we still had Kevin and Big Mike Turtsey who started. Both of them had 8 rebounds each and only played maybe half the game because of foul trouble. So I expect good things from them. And then obviously Deontay, we just talked about, can play multiple positions. I think his best position is probably at the power forward spot. And then Maxi Andrietta.
Good to see him.
Yeah, I mean, he's just getting back into the feel of things. He's been out all preseason, so last week was his first week back. So, I mean, he has length and size and ability at 6'11", 7 feet to make a three-point shot.
Would you compare and contrast the following 2 pairs of players for me? Okay, we're going to start with some guards. Jonathan Harewood, Matt Johnson.
Geez, I mean, they're very close. Honestly, at this point, it's kind of a feel. And up into the last game or the Indiana game, wherever you want to start, up into game time, it was almost like, okay, who are we going with? I mean, it's been that close.
They kind of play off each other that way.
Yeah, they really do. They're both really good defenders. They're both very high IQ guys. They sometimes play a little bit too fast, and my job right now is to get them to slow down and get us into offense. I think that's been one of our biggest fights right now is we have to make sure we run our sets and get into offense. I think that'll help us as a team. But they're very similar, very good players, and we got to keep pushing those guys because the better they are, the better we're going to be.
They just want to press, right?
They just want to go. They just want to go. And it's change of pace for them. It's almost sometimes, we're not that type of team right now, and we have to slow it down a little bit and run our offense. So it's getting them to understand that.
Do you ever want to shake any of these guys and say, shoot the rock?
Absolutely, but we can't put our hands on them, so we don't do that. I mean, absolutely. I mean, I think, Victor Olawoye is the biggest example of that. I mean, I think he passes up way too many shots. Yes, he passes up way too many shots. And I'm just going to leave it at that. So, I mean, for me, it's changing mindset. For me, it's trying to get them to understand that if you're open, you have to shoot it because, we have great size. But it doesn't matter if we don't stretch the defense. If we don't shoot the ball, they're going to compress the defense, and we can't take advantage of the size we have inside.
I just can't figure out if Victor's a 1 or a 2.
Well, I don't. Well, you let me know when you figure it out. that we have that conversation ongoing in the office.
It's good that maybe you could do a little bit of both.
Yes.
We'll find the identity. Turtsey, Andriata, compare and contrast those guys. They're both tall.
No, but they're totally 2 different players. I mean, that one's a little bit easier. Mike is strictly a 5-man, back to the basket. Will play close to the basket. That's where he's going to be best, where closer to the basket. Where Maxi can step out, stretch it, he can pass it, he can handle it a little bit, and he can make a 3-point shot. So they definitely can play together because they have 2 different skill sets. But I mean, they're both good. They're both players that we need in the offense that we're running in that high-low. I mean, they just work well together.
I didn't realize how far down there that was. That was like Baltimore. We were in D.C.
Oh, boy. Yeah, it was a trip. Always an adventure.
Always. So, all right, Saturday it's home. Home sweet home, the Hammer Mill.
Yes,
It's going to be the first time.
My first time. I'm excited about it.
Bright lights.
I can't wait. Hopefully we pack the gym and give everybody something to cheer about.
Westchester, 3 p.m. on Saturday. Millersville, 3 p.m. on Sunday.
Yep.
Westchester, everybody scores.
Yeah, no, they're a very good team. They're not as big. Maybe at their 4, they're probably 6'7", so a little not as big as us. And they have one big giant guy in the middle, but he's not as mobile as some of our bigs. The biggest thing with them is we're going to see a lot of pretty much 40 minutes of zone. They're going to zone, play 2-3 zone most likely the entire game. This week we're just concentrating on our zone offense, making sure we can run our offense, get into sets, and get the ball where we want.
And then Millersville, they all scored from behind the arc.
Yes, exactly. So, and that's something I think we do a good job of defending inside the three-point line. We have to make sure we get out to shooters and run them off the line and then be able to stay in front. I really like our man-to-man defense, but we have to make sure we get out to shooters. I think we do a good job of, we like to say, build the wall and not let players turn the corner, but we have to do a better job of getting to the three-point shooters, contest shots, and then slide our feet and stay in front.
He is Kelvin Jefferson. He's the head coach of the Gannon Golden Knights. I've got one more question or remark before you leave, and I told you this on Saturday, but I have gotten multiple people that have reached out to me to say they enjoy your interviews because you don't sound like the typical coach, the Belichick. We're on Cincinnati type,
Yeah, no, I guess that's a good thing. I just kind of, let it ride. One mentor, I guess, a long time ago just told me to be myself. I just say kind of how it is, and I think that's the best policy, and that's what people want. So I try to be as honest as possible. One thing I don't say anything that I don't say to my players. I'm very honest with those guys. They know exactly where they stand and how they feel, and I think that's helped us build a good relationship in that locker room. So, again, I will never say anything on the mic that I wouldn't say to my guys.
Great stuff. Kelvin Jefferson, head coach, Gannon Golden Knights. Appreciate it. Good luck this week.
Thank you, sir.